Hello, good afternoon. Let's adjust this a little. It's a little crooked. I'm just gonna have to live with the crookedness. Hope all is well. I thought that I would turn my camera on and share with you what I've been doing. So first of all, trying to do this without bumping my camera. This, these are all of my Tim Holtz, that doggone thing's in my way. Get out of my way. All of my Tim Holtz paper scraps. Well, it's not all of them, but it's the ones that I could get together because I've been kind of slowly working on my craft room trying to get organized. And so I'm trying to get through this pile of scraps and use my things, and I'll show you what I've done. So I showed on Instagram these little tiles that I made. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. So they're just little sorted tiles. And I'm going to show you how I made those because I have another piece here. And so I made them out of these covers. And I'm kind of bummed that that tore. I'm going to leave this one intact and just leave it alone because if I try and tear it off, it's going to tear off like that, and that's going to hurt my feelings. So I'm going to use this hole, and then maybe I'll experiment with, maybe I can get a circle punch out of this one. That's my favorite one, and it's the one that got destroyed. Kind of a bummer, but I'll show you what I've made so far because I'm like, okay, I made all those tiles. Now what do I do with them? Um, so I've got this tag here, which, and I'll show you how I made these too. This little frame, that's some little vellum behind there, and just simple. And then this bucket is too big. Let me lower it down. Here's one. I just made a little tag, and I'm seriously using every scrap. I took some of the words off of wherever I could find them. And then this little tag. So it's got the gentleman on it. And there's the back. This is abandoned. And I don't think you can get these papers anymore. I think this might have been, yeah, this was a 12 by 12. Um, I love abandoned. It's one of my favorites. And then this little metallic tag. And then this little tag. So I've got the little tile stuck here. Hey, Chow. Um, this tag, and these were fun. I made a couple of these because I really liked how, um, now obviously that's not a Tim Holtz scrap, but that is, I bought a Rolodex at Sally Army a few weeks ago, and it's all yellowy and old looking, so I wanted to use those papers. So I've got my little sort of red, white, and blue kind of tag. And then this little tag, which is just got the little tiny mail order and just some piece of paper that I tore out. But they all, pretty much all of them are backed. This one, this is just an experiment I did today. This is black alcohol ink, but it sure looks like tarnished silver, and I could still wipe some of that off, but I don't want to. I like it all funky and grungy. And then this little tag, and this has got the little tiny flowers tile. And then I made a lot so far. This just little journal insert. And it turns out that, obviously this paper is from inside of this paper pad. Then this one is made from a master board that I made. So it's plain on the back, but I did get that little tile on there. And two more. This one here, this is another of the little pocket tags. I mean, there's some other stuff on here, you know, scraps of stuff that's laying on my desk, but for the most part, these are my Tim Holtz scraps being used up. And then finally this one, and this one has a couple of pockets in it. And then it's got that little tile. So that's what I've made so far out of that big. I have a feeling I'm going to have quite a lot by the time I get done with all these scraps. But I wanted to do something with those tiles, and I still have some left over. So, but I'll show you how I made them. So I'm going to take this cover here and I'm going to take and trim it. Into strips. Try and get it on the line the best I can. In some cases I can't see the dim line. It looks like it's about right. And I had an idea that I want to try with these ones. And then these will be just a little bit smaller tiles because they don't, it's got, you know, it might make the whole thing, maybe. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool beans. And then I'm just going to take and cut out the little squares. We'll make 6 of them for now, because they're pretty easy to mass make. I'll put these back in the bowl. Okay. And I'm going to take my little scoring thing and I turn it this way. And I'm going to score these each at a 1/4 inch on every side. Whoops, didn't want that. So I'm just using this corner to hold it steady so it doesn't, you know, slip on me, because it's very hard to hold a tiny piece of paper like this. You could do this with any papers, doesn't matter. If you're going to do it with any papers, I would go 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 so that you get a 1-inch tile. And then I'm going to carefully and kind of coax these to fold over just for like a first, you know, deep scoring, trying not to. Sometimes the paper will crack and it's not a big deal because I do the edges. So I'm just going all the way around, folding those around. Hi, Paula. Oh, I'm sorry you missed last Friday. And then I'm going to trim off these corners. And what I'm trying to do is make sure that I have a corner within my fold, like so. Sometimes I miss, and not a big deal. And now I'll fold these back down and burnish them. And I can see that one has cracked a little bit, no biggie. And I'm going to use my, where is it? I'm going to use my ground espresso archival ink. And I'm just going to kind of come around the edges like so. Yeah, I just thought that I'd turn on my camera. I was doing this anyway. So, and you'll have to excuse the black under my nails. That came from earlier today working on um the daggum with alcohol ink. So what I have here is I just have a book page and I'm going to glue this down to the book page. And it leaves a little bit of a gap, and you'll see here in a second. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to cut them out, but I like to resin them all together if I can. And it'll pop up on you. You just gotta kind of keep pressing on it until it finally takes hold. And then I do get glue on them because I'm just a sloppy crafter. And so I'll wipe them down with a little bit of water after the glue's dry. Let's do another. I was thinking it might be neat to, I'm going to try that, edge them with foundry wax to make them look like a jewel, especially like this one. And let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I forget that I'm zoomed out sometimes. So we're going a quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, and then we'll give it the, I call this the stretch fold. See, I'm losing out a lot on a lot of these little tiny words. But that's okay, not a big deal. So I'm just gently folding them like this, not trying to burnish them just yet. That helps me make sure that I get my corners because, like I said, sometimes I make a mistake and cut the corner off. So you can see little corners here. And when I'm cutting right directly across that line. It doesn't have to be straight here to here, no biggie, but you don't want to cut that off. I'd rather have more and trim it off than not have my full corner. Okay, I'm just going to fold these down again and burnish. It's the burnishing part that will crack them if anything is going to crack them. That didn't do too bad. And if you have some that overlap and it's bothering you, trim it off. By all means, help myself. So Mike just woke up. He had his little heart procedure this morning. It's where they go in and they shock your heart because he's got AFib and they're trying to get rid of it. There's a little glue booger on there. These ones are going to be pretty. Doesn't matter if they're on here straight. You probably never see this back part, but just in case you do, I try and get them as straight as possible. And wipe off some of that glue. Whoops, you're not stuck down yet. Yep, and I just got more glue on it. I'm such a sloppy. Sloppy. Got a good push. See, they're not all perfectly the same size, and I don't know why, because they seem like they are, but they're not. Doesn't matter. We don't care. Right, do another. I'm going to do all 6 because I like to resin all 6 of them at the same time. So quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch. Preliminary fold. If you do it like this, it kind of helps stretch the paper, I guess. I don't know. Trims. down. If I could find my regular bone folder, that's what I'd be using, but all I can find is this one. There's a lot of things buried beyond where you guys can see. So the reason I'm using archival ink is I just feel like this is kind of a shiny paper, and I just feel like it sticks to it better. And once it dries, it's waterproof. But if I smudge and smear it, I'm not going to cry. Because there's no crying in crafting. Yes, there is. The trick here is to not get too much glue, because if you get too much, it's just slick and it has trouble grabbing hold. And I can put these fairly close together, and they don't need to be even because I'm going to cut them out with my scissors. So that's 3. But tons and tons of pattern papers that you get come with that, the samples on the cover, miniature little samples. And so this is a fun thing to do with them. You can also just put them out and make little buttons or little flowers or tiny butterflies or collage them, whatever floats your boat. So out of that piece of paper, you get 6 times 4, you get at least 24. Not bad. Did I get all these? I don't think I did. I think I got distracted. And I wanted to share this because, I'm starting my classes, and so I don't want to, oh, cool. Well, I'm still losing part of my London, but if you don't want to lose it, just leave them straight square. Who cares? Okay, I know I scored that. There it goes. And I want to devote all the time to, whatever colors we're working with and stuff, and talking about color. Now, you know what's cool is some people color comes naturally. It's just there for you. Your brain knows. And for other people, it's a struggle. Um, I'm the former. Whoops, don't lose things. It's just natural to me. And what I found out through research is some people's eyes can't see as many colors as others. So there's not only just color blindness, there's like partial color blindness. If that makes any sense. I don't know. And I like the darker color around the tile. You could leave it, or you could do any color you want. So me, I'm the grunge girl, and so that's how I like to do it. But maybe you're more of a pastel person, or a bright blue, or a shocking purple, or a lime green, do you? And I'm just kind of holding these down until they take hold. Okay, 2 more. Take hold, you. Take hold. I might need more glue on that one. Find out. Let's give it a better press. Okay, there we go. Okay, 2 more. I just think after I put the resin on these, they're going to look like jewels almost, or, stones. Notice when I'm doing this, I'm doing it slowly in hopes of stretching that paper, I guess. Okay, lay you down, I'll give you a burnish. So far, this paper pad has been better than the last one I used, or I just perfected my method. Because the last one, quite a few of them split on me on here on the sides. This one seems to be holding out pretty well. You know, I don't think you can get the abandoned anymore, and I kind of bummed about that because that was my favorite. That one, and there's another, I have another that's a favorite, but I can't remember which one it is. The new ones, I don't like the paper as much. Just it's got like a lot of repetitive designs, like a bunch of postage stamps, but I do like to cut those postage stamps out and use them. I've got a whole little on the red set, I've got a whole little set of them that I cut out. I just feel like Tim gave us a lot more variety in these. Uh-oh, lost one. Where'd it go? There it is. Oops, did a bad job there. Don't need this anymore. At least not for this. What time is it there in Sri Lanka? Oh, golly, Paula, I never remember. Malaysia, um, I know you're somewhere in another time zone a long, far away, but I never remember. No, Sri Lanka? Oh, come on. Where is it? Where in the world is Paula? San Diego. Barbados. Okay. I, I knew it was someplace that's not here. I think we've had that conversation many times and I just forget because I'm senile. Oops, I almost forgot to edge that one. It happens. 3:18 in the afternoon. Okay, not bad. On what day? So it's 2:18 in the afternoon here, so that's kind of interesting. It's almost like you're on Eastern time. Is Wednesday there too? Okay, good to know. Okay, I don't need my glue anymore for right now. Let's scooch all these little guys away. And so you could use, you don't have to use resin for these. You could use glossy accents, but I can't be asked to wait for it to dry. I'm gonna hold that down for a little bit longer. And then I'm just gonna take my paper towel right here, which still has some clean space on it. These are the expensive ones, so I try and stretch them as far as possible. I'm just going to get a little bit of water on it. And I'm just going to wipe these tiles. Get all that excess glue from my fingers because it's such a small space, it's easy to get glue on them. And I'm going to dry them off because I can see little water droplets. Now they're all nice and pristine. So I'll grab my little handy dandy, this guy, get plugged in. You could also, if you had the right resin, you could do sparkly on there. So since I only did 6, I can do them all at the same time. Got my resin here. You don't shake it up. And this is Kisrel, and it was a whole kit. It was like, I don't know, $12 on Amazon, and came with 2 bottles. And I'm just going to go around the square and then fill in. And you're supposed to use gloves, a mask, all the things. I don't. I'm not using it for a prolonged amount of time. My door is open. I have the door open so my kitty can come in if she wants to. Because she's finally starting to love me. I've only had her since November, and it took her months to even kind of come close to me where I could pet her. Now she likes to rub on my legs and stuff. And sleep on my bed and do cat things like you expect with a cat. So I'm going fairly thick on here, and I'll run it twice through the lights, through the 180 seconds. And that seems to be the magic number on this. If you get any bubbles, have a lighter nearby, but I don't really run into much trouble with bubbles the way that I'm doing this. I'm just keeping my tip down. I'm not lifting it at all until it's time to lift it. Always make sure you put the lid back in and move it away from the light. And then I'll just place this and we'll go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, drive time's a pain. Hey, Andrea, welcome. I know I don't expect a lot of people to show up. It's, like a weird time of day. Um, so yeah, I'm just turning on my camera. And so I wanted to try, let's get this sterling and start shaking it. It's hard to get the sterling going. Yeah, hi, I'm live. You forgot already? I just have the door open so the cat can come in. He forgot I was live. He had a procedure this morning and got knocked out for it, so I think that kind of messes with your memory for a little bit. Yeah, I'm blowing myself up again. That's right. Uh, this stuff, I can't get the ball going. I'm not buying one of those little shaker things. I'm not. It's just not in the budget or in the wherewithal. I'll just keep moving it till it finally goes. I'm just trying not to shake the whole table. That's what I'm doing, but I'm not having any luck with that. So let's just do a different color. We could do that. Let's do. I don't know if I want to do gilded or not. Maybe. So you can hear the little ball in that one. Just real super hard to get the ball going in the silver one. Aww. No, she's gone on a trip. I'm usually asleep when she goes live, or I'm already busy with my day. Yesterday, I had a fun day. I processed a whole bag of limes, which, that means squeezing all the juice out of them. I canned about 10 pounds of pears and about 5 pounds of beets. No, I'm just going 2 times this time. Let's see, what else? I made the Greek yogurt. Oh my gosh, you guys, it came out so good. Mike has almost eaten all of it already, and I did a gallon. I did a gallon of milk, but we lost some in the cheesecloth didn't work well for straining it, so I used a couple of my, white flour sack towels, and a lot of the yogurt got stuck to those, so I ordered from I think Walmart a couple of mesh strain bags. You need like nut milk bags or something, but oh my gosh, best Greek yogurt ever. I did, and the reason is because I want to, because I wouldn't call myself a prepper, but I would call myself cautious. Okay, that should be shook up well enough. And this is almost done. And it's not, if you've never used resin before, it's not hot when it's done. If it's still sticky, then you didn't cook it long enough. And you just kind of get used to how much to cook it, or whatever this procedure is. I'm just going to call it cooking. I love beets. I was so excited to get those beets. And so I pickled them because I don't have, well, we have a pressure canner, but I've never pressure canned. I don't know how. And Mike was gone most of the day. He does know how. I'm afraid of pressurized cooking. I'm afraid of our even our Instant Pot. So now these are nice and hard and they're ready. So now I can just cut them out. And they have a backer on them, so all that stuff that I stuck down will stay folded down. And when I go to glue it to the next project. Let's move this out of the way. Don't need that anymore today. That pretty? That mouse is bugging me right there. There we go. And the back side just looks like text in case you left it loose. Like, so you could probably, and I haven't tried it because I don't want to, but you could probably poke a hole, in the things so that it could be a hanging dangle. Get off. I'm dying to see this purple one all on its own. What in the heck? There we go. Trying to be able to see what I'm doing because I want to cut it super close. There's the purple one. No, it was all canning. So I just water bath can. If you want a water bath can beets, you need to make them pickled. So they need to have that 5% vinegar acidity. Oh, so pretty. So I can go around these edges again to cover any white if I want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. No, I made 6 of these. They do. They look like beautiful polished stone. So if you don't resin or you never have, start out with a simple, inexpensive kit like that. And then just do little stuff. And the reason I got this whole idea, I got it from my friend Jana, who does like glossy accent embellishments with her resin so that it can dry right away. She has one of those little flashlight, little UV lights. I do too, but I have no idea where it is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It doesn't necessarily magnify the design, but it feels like it does. And all those pretty designs on your pattern paper don't go to waste. Okay, so what I wanted to try, um, let me get something I can get messy. And let me try it on. I love them all. So here's the thing about the foundry wax. It will spread when I don't want it to spread. So what I want to do is kind of mask. I need to think of how I want to do that. This is about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take my, let me see, how do I want to mask this? I know I have some masking tape right here. I'm going to take my masking tape. I'm just going to use my little grid here. And this is going to be totally eyeballed, by the way, friends, except for I'm going to use my ruler and my knife. And I'm going to first cut out the inch because I know this is inch wide masking tape. Oh, it's a little bit less than an inch. Okay, no problem. Or I did a crappy job. Could be either. And then use a different ruler, I think. Use this ruler, and I'm going to cut off about 1/4 inch off of two sides, the bottom and a side. This may or may not work, friends. Get off there. Get off there. And I didn't get that very straight at all, but that's okay. Now, if I can pick this off of here. That's because that's not a decent angle for cutting, but I did this on this mat that's obviously not going to be able to be turned. Now I got to be able to get this up. Let's try my tweezers. There we go. I'm going to need the tweezers to place it anyway. Let's do it here on this one. Now try and get it as straight as I can. Again, it doesn't have to be freaking perfect. Yes, it does. Don't you guys hate being like perfectionists? Okay, I made a mask. Oh, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a paintbrush. Not this one. Let's do this one. Let's check this up again. And this could be a huge mistake, you guys, so hang on to your hats. Pour a little bit out on here. I'm going to quickly paint it on. It dries really, really fast, but you have to heat it to get it to work. So my next dilemma is I don't necessarily want to heat it with the masking tape on there. So I'm going to pull the masking tape off, and I can see that it kind of worked. Oops, dang it, Bobby. Everything's slippy sliding around. I know what I need. I need this tool. Everything's slippy sliding around on me. I'm gonna have to find a better system for that, but okay. Let's heat that and see how it worked. Ah. So that it looks like it has a little bezel on it is the whole idea. Not really. It doesn't really work, but it was worth trying, right? Because it needs a second coat. Let's see if I can carefully paint a second coat on there. Oh, shoot. See, I always forget that I have this mat here, and I do that. I get the mat hot, and that is a bad idea. Not meant to get hot. I warped it, but hopefully holding it down here. I forget sometimes that I have this mat on here. Okay, paintbrush. Let's just go carefully. And I think I'll just do one side at a time here. I'm just going to kind of carefully dab this on. You can see how quickly it dries. And then, you know what I need is my hot hands, but I have no idea where they are. Not the first clue. So, tweezers. Had them a second ago. Oops. And try not to do it near your bottle of foundry wax. It looks pretty and all, but it doesn't look, didn't turn out the way I had hoped. See, it's kind of melds into there. Oh, you're at work, okay. So I'm not crazy about that idea, but it was worth trying. Probably I would be better off, I don't know, some other situation. So now I've got a little white showing through here, so I'm going to go ahead and darken down that white. I'm going to move these things because I don't need them anymore. What am I doing here? I mean, it still kind of reminds me, you know, of some art from an art gallery or something, but it didn't give me kind of the lip look that I wanted. I mean, you could buy bezels. You know what? You know what? I have an idea. Let's try it. So I have this stuff. This is for insulation. It's like a duct tape to go around your like HVAC. What made me mad is when I bought it, I thought this was just on the cover, but it's on the whole thing. But I have a solution. Now, I don't think I have a 1-inch frame. Let's deal with my solution first. So, and I know it works because I did it already today. Just gonna spray that with some alcohol. So if you can get it cheaper with that printing on it, go for it and then just wipe it off with alcohol. Okay. So this was 1 inch by 1 inch. Let me just get my pencil. It's got to wrap around, so I need to think about that. Go about there. And I'm going to trim it on my trimmer. Yeah, it's still pretty. You're right about that. It just didn't give me what I was looking for. Now I want to, I'm going to take my, oops, tape's coming up on me. I don't want that to happen. Roll that out. I'm going to grab my dirt thing again and stay. I have a feeling it won't stick, but again, I'm just going to grab my mushroom alcohol ink because it's handy. Just kind of color this. You oughta wait till it's dry. This is why there's black underneath my nails, because I'm just a sloppy crafter. I need some more. Well, that's the back, so it's not that important. Okay. Kind of give that a second to dry. No, they're not keeping me down. I almost was going to buy another roll, and you can get it pretty cheap, but I'm like, why would I do that when I have that roll right there? Okay, so I have to choose the one that I want to do. I think I want to do this one. Yeah. And this may or may not work. So I'm going to peel the backer off this tape. Yeah, it wanted to come off when it was on the other side. Now it doesn't want to come off. Where in the... Trying to be careful not to accidentally fold it over. Okay. Take the backer off the tape. I'm going to pick this up and try and get it in the middle there. As middle adjacent as I can. Okay. Now, I'm going to fold up these corners first. Try and do a good job. Those you kind of want to get straight. Oh, good Lord. Why do I pick to do these insane things? I think I'll trim that little bit off because it looks like it's probably going to poke out. Little scissors, where are you? There you are. I thought about purchasing some copper foil because I used to do stained glass a million years ago, the copper foil method. And I thought it'd be perfect to go around the edges of like this, but I just don't want to buy anything else. I just don't want to. I don't see myself using it often enough to justify another purchase that I can't afford. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to trim off some of that corner, or maybe not. Maybe I like it like this. No, I don't, but although I kind of do. This gave me more of the look that I was looking for. And I think what I'll do now is I'll give it a hammered look. Give me a second. I don't want to scrape my alcohol ink off. Where are you? Where'd you go? Boom, boom, boom. I lose things. Okay, we'll just get another one. I don't care. Mess with me. I didn't get that on there straight. Oh well, no biggie. So probably the corner idea wasn't a great idea, but I don't know how else to approach that. And of course, it's quite lopsided. I wonder, can I trim this down without injuring it? Guess what? Nope, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to leave it like it is and be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, we're going to use these. So I'm going to put them in my pile. You over here. I'll probably need you again. Might not need you. Probably don't need you. Definitely going to need you. And, oh, here's a whole nother piece. No, stop. All right, let's get that out of the way. And so I'll choose one of these tiles and then I'll build my paper scraps around it. So let's do this tile right here because I see already its counterpart. So I think I'll make a tag from this and let's go. I want this side. So let's go 3 by 6. Maybe I'll go 3 by 5 even. I'm going to go 3 by 6. And then I'll use this piece for another tag somewhere. And I believe I think I want to make another pocket tag. And then I'll do the decorating on this, and this will be the backdrop. Yep, that's how it's going to roll, friends. So let's do a little distressing on there first. And because it's so plain, I'll use some stamps on here. but I could also use some scraps, so we'll do both. Get a little drippage going on. Where's my kitty? Where's my baby girl? Thought I heard her meowing. Give that a second, kind of. Yeah, I always have a vision, sometimes in the middle of the night, and it isn't pretty. Let's just use this dirty. It doesn't matter that it's dirty. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was looking for, stamps. Okay. I already have one out on my desk. So let's start with that one. And since we know this is going this way, I want my text to go this way. I don't know if this is going to stick or not. No, it's not. You didn't see me put spit on my finger just now. Hey, they're my stamps, my spit. I'm not worried about it. I want to do black, I think, because that majority of that is black. And that's not black, that's ground espresso, but that's what's sitting on my desk, so that's what's getting used. Oops, Lang. Uh-oh, I hear a doggy barking. Okay, so let's see what I have in the small scraps. What do we got here? Yeah, I like that. It's got little numbers on it. When I say I keep every scrap, I do. Like a lot of them. Let's start with that. Since numbers and music notes are kind of simpatico. That one's going to go here. And in a case like this, I typically don't audition. I just start throwing stuff down. Do I want this? No, I don't. It's not the right color. Okay, what else? Okay, I want a little bit of turns out I have some gauze that's in the same color range. That makes me happy. Because I spent a couple of days, a couple of years ago, just dyeing gauze, or not, it's not gauze, it's like a really lightweight muslin fabric. And this doesn't have to be too fancy. Now I'll start to kind of audition. Oh, I like that. I do. Hey, Peggy. I'm doing okay, hanging in there. I think I want one more something here. I cannot find all of my washi tape, and I have a ton of it. I mean, I have the drawer stuff, but I had like a roll thing with all the washi tape in it. And I might have taken it off that roll and put it somewhere, and I have no idea where I put it. No clue. Not a clue. Let's see, one more fabric. I don't think so. I think I want another scrap of paper. Oh, I like this one. Okay. I'll typically only glue these around the center so I can tuck stuff under if I want to. Just like so. Did I get that in the right spot? I did. Do I have any other scraps that are loose and crazy? Yes, I do. This one right here. Put that right there. I think this is from the new paper pad, probably the yellow. Hi, Jenna. Okay. Then I'll have to make a little thing to go in that. I can do that while I'm waiting for this to dry. Let's go ahead and make this into a tag shape. And I just love these things. Love, love, love them. The rounded edge one. We'll do 7mm. I like the back side too. But not as much as I like the front side because that's kind of in my favorite color range. Oh, I want to clip my tag hole. Got a little piece of tag stuck in here. Tweezers. There you are. I love these because they have a stop on them, so I can't get it too deep. And it's easy to eyeball the center-ish out of my way. And I'm using Vintage Photo here ink, by the way. Yeah, I have my biopsy on Friday, Peggy. Mike had a procedure today. Friday's my day. Friday afternoon. And the glue I'm using, by the way, is just the PVA glue. I don't have the bottle near me. Okay, I want to go a little bit darker here around these edges than I was. It's better. And I like to glue this down first because that way I can make sure that I can make something that fits in here. Just a thin bead of glue. And in my case, a worm of glue. Ah! Ding dong. I just want to place it so that it's even along there. Quit moving. I didn't give you permission to do that. There we go. Now I'll take a scrap. Excuse me, another scrap from the pile. I think we'll do this one. I need to go right about there. Eyeballing. Looks like about 3 inches. Thank you. Looks like 3 inches. I'd say it probably is. It might be less, but that's okay. Okay, taking these corners and we'll stay at 7 millimeter. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl. I have lots to do tomorrow. I have my class, but I also need to mop the floors because I don't know how I'm going to feel after my biopsy. You never know. I might feel just fine, or I might feel like hammered dog poop. Don't know. It's an awake procedure, so at least I don't have to go through that. I'm absolutely terrified to go to sleep. Okay, now I want a tab on this. And let's see, what kind of tab do I want? I think I'll do a lacy tab. Cut already. Thank you. And what I like to do is put a little bit of glue. Just to kind of get it to take hold, and then I'll staple it, but I want to decorate that. So, and I have actually room to come off the sides a little if I want to. So let's see, what can I find in this scrap bucket? Got these little eggs. I love this. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, so you just never know. You never know. And this is an endometrial biopsy. So, you know, there's going to be the initial kind of discomfort, but I think it'll be okay. I think I like that. Maybe that. These guys back. I'm going to have to cut that out because I'm not going to try and do a perfect job because I absolutely cannot. I can, I just don't want to. On time. It takes forever to cut all those little loop-de-loops. And I can do it, no problem at all. It's what I do, but I'm not gonna make you guys sit through it. And I have this stamp, I could make one, but I'm, really trying to use up these scraps. Just get that nice and dark around the edges. I hope the kidney biopsy came out well. I don't want to do any of this. It's not fair. I don't want to. Okay, that. I'm not sure I want to use this because it's, maybe I do. Maybe I do. I don't want too much thickness on that because it's got to, come in and out of the pocket. Maybe I want to go, maybe this is my piece that's going to be over to the side, and then bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum. I don't have time to be sick. and I'm not very good at it. Kind of a baby. Actually, I'm not. You know, those of us who raise kids understand that sick is not an option. Non-functioning is not an option. Okay, here's a little scrappy piece of tape. Guess what? It's gonna get a life right now. That'll be good. I don't want to lose my 45 cents. Only part of it. Okay, that's good. I'm happy there. Now that's probably dry enough to staple. Staple here. I could sew, but I haven't wanted to do any sewing on this. I'm kind of in a bigger hurry than that. Because once I get my sewing machine, then I start getting really fancy. Did you get new kidney or just be careful with the kidney function that you have? Just the inquiring minds want to know. Concerned minds. What was that? Dropped. This is some the selvage. No, this isn't the yeah, this is the selvage of some linen fabric I bought at Hobby Lobby on sale because it was damaged. I'm like, oh yeah, give me that damaged stuff. That's perfect. Right up my alley. There we go. So we use that little hammered jewel and the corn netting paper because I had some to make another like tag pocket tag. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there. I think it'll go farther in, but it doesn't seem to want it yet. Nope, it won't. That's fine. Okay, we'll put that in the pile. Let's do another, and let's do something small. Small, but mighty. So let's grab this purpley pink one. Come around this edge because it's poking out a little. I need to add a little bit of glue right there, and that's okay. I will as soon as I get the ink on. Yeah, I get that. And the problem is then as you get older and they start throwing you on medications that mess with your kidneys. At least I feel that's a problem. I want something that'll really make this stand out. No, 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 no. Ba, ba. I mean, I could probably find the paper it goes with. This is not a Tim Holtz paper. I don't know how I know, but I just know. My brain just knows the papers. Here's its counterpart. It's kind of pretty on there. I don't think I want to make the whole thing purple because then it just won't, it doesn't help this to pop. Let's do something small here. I'm gonna cut out a tag. I know that I left those dies out somewhere and I've already scooched them all over the dang place. Where'd you guys go? There they are. I have this tag die and it's going to put in some embossing in there. I'm just going to run over to my machine and run that through. Okay. Now let me see. Can I enhance those edges? If I'm going to do it with my this. That worked to enhance them pretty well. I mean, you know, mildly enhanced. I'll go ahead and edge the very edge with this. So we have a cohesive color ratio. I want the inside of that circle too. I'm going to take my little brush, if I can find her. Where are you? Where are you, sweetheart? Nowhere. Okay. I think that's the one that I started to pick up and then change my mind. I'm just going to come around like so. Okay. I could actually put two on here just to be different. Maybe I will. Nah, it's distracting. It distracts from my purple that I'm trying to kind of highlight. That's going to come down here. Um, I want, because just saying, whoops, come back here. Ow, 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 that hurts. Trying to lean over my chair and my tender part is hitting the side of the chair because yellow and purple. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna get out a little piece of this. And I'll have to have this all cleaned up tomorrow to get started on our class. Let's see if I can just rip this or if I'm gonna have to take scissors first. No, I can rip it. This might disintegrate it. Nope. I'm gonna have to cut some of that off, and that's fine. And then maybe some purple. Sorry, which I don't have any, but we'll make some real quick. Little line of glue there. This gets messy, friends. Yeah, get messy everywhere. Get messy with it. But what am I if I'm not messy? We're going to keep this one real simple. So they don't all have to be, masterpieces. They're just tags that are going to get slipped inside of a pocket, and you won't even see them until they get taken out of the pocket. So that looks like seedless preserves. Let's grab a piece of sorry here. Where is my sorry? I'm sorry. I don't know. I might have some. I don't think I do, though. No. Trying to look for a loose piece. There we go. I don't know what was in this tin, but it smells like soap. Maybe soap. I don't know. Okay, let's grab a scrap piece of paper here. Let's grab this. Actually, I'm gonna get this wet first. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's very wrinkly. And I think instead of the paper, I'm gonna grab my messy sheet. Just gonna tap that down on there. Now, where'd that picked raspberry go? Didn't I take it out? I swore I took it out. I mean, seedless preserves. No, I did not, because here it is. And I'm just going to use one of my brushes. Let's add a little bit of Dusty Concord. A little heavy and then lighter. And then I should be able to make water spots on this. We're going to find out in a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I gotta dry that. And just don't dry it laying against your mat there, goofball. Let's use the little heat tool. I can finagle it out of here. Everything's all tied up by this big old box of scraps. Wonder what I did with my hot hands. I have a couple of pairs of them. Where they are, I don't know. Okay. And then I'm gonna scrunch it up a bit. It won't wrinkle too much because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a rayon or something. Roll it, twist it, get it through the hole, which is a big hole, so. And I think I want to fasten it with some of this so that it all coordinates. Now, where did I put that? I know there was more left than this little tiny piece. Okay. Where did I get it? Which bucket did it come from? Oh, this one. Just take my scissors, cut myself a little strip here. Try and keep it together until I get the knot, and then I can mess it up. It's only in one single, so I want to be careful that I don't accidentally undo it. Just going to put a little dab of glue. The glue will show because, you know. There. You've made a small tag. Okay, I don't like the way you're sitting. Gonna have to mess with this for a second. There we go. Small tag, as I was saying, with the backside of the same paper that was on the cover here. So it's nice and coordinating. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do today because I need to go make my poor hubby some dinner, and I might have to cook for the dog too. I don't think he's feeling up to it. And the dog only eats meat, so thanks for coming and hanging out with me. If you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow night, 5 o'clock Central, for our first coloring class. Take care. Bye.